What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Faraday Future, I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Faraday did actually do fairly well on Friday. So it held up against the absolute relentless bloodbath in the market. So it did close 3.61% in the red. After hours, starting to push up a little bit higher, so 2.49%. You can kind of see that there is a lot of good momentum happening with the stock. So it does generally want to move higher, and they've been putting out a lot of PR. So I want to go over all of that. But even on Friday, $1.57 the low, $1.82 the high. And just to briefly touch on exactly what's causing so much fear in the broader market, and as you can kind of see, caused S&P down 1.71, nasdaq 2.2. So ultimately all that bloodbath is stemming from this right here. So you did have a couple data points coming out, all linked to inflation. So you first had on Wednesday FOMC minutes, and there was a lot of concerns brought up, and one of which was how tariffs are going to prompt higher inflation. So there was that. Market, I feel like on Wednesday kind of took it. It's like, hey, thanks for the heads up. That's basically it. But you also did have Walmart earnings, and they gave a very stern, fearful warning about the foreseeable future through those tariffs and what that means for consumers. So once again, aka inflation going higher. And then the final straw was this right here. So the Michigan consumer sentiment. And honestly, on February the 7th, when this last came out, that also prompted a crazy pullback, because back then the forecast was 72, came in at 67.8. Today's forecast was 67.8. Actual came in at 64.7. So again, another indicator that inflation is on the rise. And as well, then people, once they get that fear in their head, then they start to look at alternate data such as this. So credit card balances is pretty much at record highs ever. So once again, there's just a lot of negatives stacking up. So what does that mean for Faraday? Well, ultimately, they need to get their crap together and have no hiccups, nothing like that. So that's just straight out the gate. They need to get everything flawless. So hopefully management does kind of acknowledge that and everything. But when it comes down to recent news, they did put out this right here. So this one came out today on the 21st. So Faraday Future announces the shipment of its first 2 FX6 camouflaged prototype mules to the US. And they've been kind of posting this news somewhat, saying that it's coming to the States. It was going to be in LA, I believe. So I think in general it's good. It goes to show that they at least have prototypes functional. But from prototypes, as I've kind of shared with you, I know some people might be seeing this as very optimistic. There's a lot of different steps from prototypes to actually production. And in Lucid's case, like I cover Lucid quite a lot, and when they first started in 2021, it took a good about 1.5 to 2 years from prototype to actually starting of production. And even during that kind of time frame, they messed up quite a lot on their production, caused delays. So I think in general, it's good that Faraday is kind of showing this off, but I think it's a little bit too early to jump up and down. That's just my own opinion. I always like to be brutally honest. Some people don't like that, and my apologies in general. But they also did put this out on February the 18th, and I only do one Faraday video every week, just kind of summarizing exactly what did come out. So Faraday Future announces plans to expand its AI-focused recruitment as the company ramps up its AI R&D efforts in 2025. So they're going to be switching the ticker to FFIE on March the 10th, as well as having a FF Open AI Day on March the 17th. Be very interesting to see that. As far as I'm aware, I don't think they're live streaming that event or anything, but I don't see, and I've done a couple of searches shown you that they don't really have any actual like patents for any of their technology. I've been very curious on what their technology is, because they've even stated that American companies are just crap in comparison to what Faraday has. And Lucid has the best technology out there. They have the PIF backing them. So it'd be interesting to see what Faraday actually does come up with for this. But it does say state that they're actually ramping up on hiring. So that's kind of a good thing. But again, that costs money. I feel like a lot of people jump up and down way too early for this. There was also this that did come out, a 13G. Some people, again, I think are, I'm here to just say it, no BS. I'm not here to hype you up nor bring you down, but way too many people out there are kind of cheerleaders for Faraday, trying to hype people up. This 13G that did come out, a lot of people are saying that's just, hey, oh my God, big institutions are backing up the bus. If you kind of look at it, this right here, and with the cap of being 9.9, that right here is the max that any essentially like the investors, as what Faraday likes to call them, can hold. So this simple-handedly is just associated to notes. So again, looks like they did kind of go to Hong Kong for money potentially, and it's yeah, they have a lot of shares, but then again, they're the ones that lent the money, and they're the ones that are pretty much destroying the stock through dilution. So all this 7.6 billion shares, that is, or sorry, 7.6 million, my apologies, I'll zoom in a little bit more. So 7.6 million, that is all coming from dilution, just so you're aware. So it's kind of, again, it's not a good thing to jump up and down over. All these notes that Faraday has relied on in the past is going to really dramatically affect the actual stock price. And that's just, again, through dilution. So that's just my quick viewpoint on everything. So with all the fear in the market, Faraday is looking like they want to get their stuff together. And I think they're actually doing something. I've been covering them for a good 2 years. And unfortunately, I think they sat on their asses for way too long. But as of right now, I think this is the most active that they are truly doing operationally. So if you are wanting to invest and you believe in the future of Faraday, then definitely take advantage, buy the dip, do what you need. In my opinion, I would really like to see more kind of details on actual estimated targets, because that's something that they have not really given out. I would really like to see what is Faraday's view plan, what is their path to profitability. I know they can't really talk on all that too much because that's way probably 2027, 2028. That's again if this sub-brand does really take off. So let me know your viewpoint. This is just my general thoughts on everything, giving you an overview of what shorts did. So that is SoFi. You guys don't need that. So Faraday Future shorts did return 1.02 million shares on Friday. So given the amount of fear, shorts did return some, so that's always a good thing. But 46.04% of the free flow is being shorted. Works out to be 18.13 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow average 17.82. Utilization is 88.7. So let me know your viewpoint on Faraday. Do you think this momentum is going to continue? Based on the actual recent price performance over the last 5 days, it did actually close in the green. You can't really say that has happened all too much. So 0.31% in the green is still better than most of the other stocks that has been like kind of out there. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on Faraday. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, if you are looking for buy signals, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.